Okay, so I'm making this video uh, as a request. Kobe asked, but so I'm just watering down the various compost piles right now. Every day I wet them down just like it was a plant. You know, I put some water onto the pile. And what it is, I'm feeding the organisms that are breaking down the material. So yesterday, I got that pile right there. I have a mushroom compost farm, not very, well, a mushroom farm, and this is their waste product. And I took some time to break down the blocks, both when I was harvesting it over there and when I mounded it here. I ran over the blocks, I turned them. Now, so since I got this last night, it's only been here 12 hours. And what I've found is it takes about one day, 24 hours, for the organisms to build up and start breaking down the, you know, the material here, heating it up. Now, what is the heat? The heat is actually the result of the cells of the organisms dividing. So it's pretty neat, you know, like I open up the pile, I see all this heat vapor escaping, and I know it's the heat released from the organisms that are decomposing. Well, they're feeding on the organic material, you know, and they're just multiplying because it's a food source. So in a compost pile, for a heat compost pile, what you need is you need air, oxygen for the organisms, and you need carbon and nitrogen. Carbon as a food source, nitrogen as a protein builder, or what is that? Nucleic acids. You know, you need a number of nucleic acids. So you need the nitrogen for those, for the, you know, for protein. Anyway, used to know all that stuff. But you need water, air, and food. All biology needs this. All organisms need this. So anyway, so there's my moisture. Now I'll get on the tractor and turn these piles to get both the air and the water into the pile. And if I do this daily on the 24-hour cycle, what I find is that I actually do get the organisms to build up their populations, and so, you know, I'm getting the heat which you need to sterilize weed seed, pathogens, what else? And I get the decomposition of the organic matter into a form like that one. I didn't, sorry about that. See, I'm actually mining this one. I'm taking it to the farm. I don't really need to water it anymore. See, this is the end product right here. So I'll put that into the trailer, dump trailer, and use it on the farm directly as a mulch. But that's my end product right there. Okay, it's going to be a little hard for me to talk, so I'll just use the tractor for a minute. All right, this is a fairly fresh pile here, and what you're going to see here is, first of all, this is nice and warm, but can you see the mycelium for the fungi just penetrating into this? And it's all coarse material, see? So this is all that gray stuff is fungus. You can see it. Can you see the heat released there? Let's see how hot it is in here. It gets hotter and hotter as it starts to break down. Yeah, this is just warm. Like, okay, so it's hot in there. Ow, oh, ow, 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 ow. That is hot right there. So that's the, you know, the one above 130 temp that we're looking for. And that's why we don't get a lot of weeds in our, you know, in our plant mix, because we've sterilized these compost piles. Now, it's taken me a little while to learn this media. Everybody has a different media. You have to learn it. You have to learn how much moisture. If I put too much moisture into this, I'll leak out the humic acids. And I want to retain those. And also I'll lose the nitrogen, you know, as a gas. I can actually stimulate the organisms to start, you know, making ammonia gas, and that's just losing all my nitrogen. Here, I just was walking over here to see if McKeon, my son, has, yeah, this is the humic acid vat that we put some of the compost material in these crates, and then we fill it with water, and then we draw off that. See what's happened here. No, it's all gone. Yeah. So I asked him to keep the this compost because I've leached out a lot of the salts from this material, and I'm going to use this on avocados because avocados are salt sensitive. So, you know, it's just better to remove some of the salts, but the salts don't hurt me in the humic acid. Then we use the humic acid when we make our fertilizer. So we fill up the buckets and then pour this into our fertilizer vat. I'll show you that later. So, well, that's a compost lesson. Like I said, you know, finding your media or medium and working with it. I water daily, 7 days a week. I do this. I just keep making you know, my compost, refining my compost so that it goes on and really then encourages biology in my soil. Because once I get soil biology, then I'm getting a better uptake of nutrients, you know, native nutrients that are in the soil, but also nutrients in the organic material. And then any nutrients that I add with my fertilizer. You know, well, like I said, I'll talk about fertilizer later in terms of making fertilizer. But, well, that's a compost lesson. Hope you enjoyed it, Kobe and others.